All right, folks. So if you have been thinking maybe of starting a podcast or live streaming or any sort of voiceover, I'm sure you've been looking around online for a microphone. And a lot of times you might see one like this where it's in the frame, you want it to look pretty good. And I'm sure you've come across this one. It is the FDUCE SL40. That's how I would pronounce it. FDUCE SL40. And today we're going to see what comes in the box, what it looks like, and how it sounds. So here we go. Here's the box. Let's open it up, see what's inside. Looks like we have some instructions here. Everything's pretty nicely packaged, nice and neat. Looks like we got a cable. This would be a USB cable, USB-C on both ends, except this has an adapter for USB to USB-C. Pretty nice. Lots of new computers don't have always have a regular USB like this one, so they provide this adapter. It also comes with an XLR cord because this microphone is both an XLR and a USB microphone. Here's the actual microphone. Looks like, looking over it, we got a couple buttons on top here, a mute switch, a up and down volume button, I believe. There's the branding on the side, information on here, another branding on this side. And on the bottom, you see that we have 3 ports. We have the main XLR, we have the USB-C port, and we have a headphone jack. So that's what it looks like. Actually looks pretty good. Let's take this foam screen off. It's got a mesh grill here. The whole thing. This is all metal here. This is metal. Actually comes with a mic stand adapter as well. There's 2 different sizes of mic mounts. So you can screw this one out completely. And then if your mic stand has that size, you can use that size instead. But yeah, overall, my initial thoughts of it, as far as build quality, seems pretty sturdy. Definitely the grill is pretty sturdy. The foam, not bad at all. And this is what I would definitely call more of a value microphone based on the price. But I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to get it hooked up here and see how it sounds. All right, so here is the mic again. I have it hooked up via USB in the back with the provided cable. You can also see right here is the XLR. So this is how this microphone is sounding straight out the bat. No filters, no anything on top of it. This is exactly how it sounds. I literally just plugged this straight into my computer. Didn't have to install anything. It picked it up right away, and I didn't have to do anything to it. And that's how it sounds. One thing I do want to test here before I get it mounted onto my stand, so I can show you a couple more things, is the background noise rejection. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this microphone right in front of us like this, and then I'm gonna turn it to 90 degrees. You can see how well it rejects my voice, and we'll keep turning it around. We're now 180 degrees from the microphone. We'll keep turning it around here, back to 90, and back to the beginning. And hopefully you could hear some of the mic handling noise as well. And that is how that sounds. These pieces on the side here loosen up. That allows the microphone to move up and down like this. Very nice. And on the top, we have this mute button, which I'll press right now. And now I am unmuted again. So hopefully you did not hear anything that I said. And let me get this mounted onto my mic arm, and then we can show you a couple more things. Okay, so I got it mounted here. One thing I did want to talk about as well, obviously you can see I have my headphones on here, and I can hear everything that I'm saying back through my headset through the microphone. It has what they call zero latency monitoring, so I can hear what I'm saying as I'm saying it through my own headphones, as well as the computer audio through the headset with it plugged in the back with a headphone jack. So that's actually really nice. It's got the volume rockers on top. I can turn my volume down and I can turn my volume back up. I'm sure you can hear some of that clicking through the microphone, but not too terrible. And of course, we have the mute button right on top as well. So, one thing that is important when it comes to these microphones is this noise reduction screen right here. So, they call it a pop filter. This one actually, looking through it, is pretty good. But you probably notice with it off that you hear lots of pops and possibly. So we want to do a couple tests here. Paul, please pass the pizza. Paul, please pass the pizza. Now we'll do it with the pop filter on. Paul, please pass the pizza. Paul, please pass the pizza. Now I want to do one more test because with the Plosive, because on my other microphone, I actually went and got one of these pop filters, which is from a much more expensive microphone, but it slips right on that one. I believe it will also slip right onto this one. Paul, please pass the pizza. Paul, please pass the pizza. And at that point, you almost hear no plosives at all because this is a nice pop filter, but still not very expensive at all. So you can take a very value microphone, spend a little extra, and get this nice pop filter on, and it'll sound like a really great microphone. Let me swap it back for the original pop filter. And I did spend some time listening back to the audio coming through the microphone on the previous video recording, and I think it does sound pretty good for such a value microphone. And I think it's a great starting off point if you want to start a podcast or something like that, because with this XLR port on the back, it gives you room to expand to something, maybe an audio interface or a mixer or something like that. But if you just want to go just you and your computer, you plug it USB, it's perfect. No problems right there. And a couple more things I want to test out. One, of course, is you're going to want this mounted on an arm. It does look good. I think it does look good in the frame, so you don't have to worry about like a older style or more of a like a stage performance style microphone. This looks like a broadcast microphone, and with it in the frame, you want one of these arms. But the microphone should have some sort of rejection from touching of the arm or the table. So I'm going to touch the table here a little bit and see what comes through the microphone arm. And I'm going to touch the arm itself so you can see what comes through the mic. And I'm going to touch the actual microphone so you can see what kind of handling noise, if you have to move it around, what it sounds like, and like that. So you get a kind of idea of what types of noises the mic will make, even when you're not touching the mic exactly. Another thing you want to think about if you're going to use this for PC gaming or streaming or something like that, you want to make sure that you don't hear maybe your keyboard in the background. Maybe you have a noisy keyboard. Mine is not too terribly noisy, but does make some noise. It's a mechanical keyboard. So I want to make sure that my teammates or other people watching the live stream aren't constantly listening to the clicks of my keyboard. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do some clickety clacks on the keyboard, and you see if you can hear any of it. So some of that might have been just coming through the desk, but I was using this mechanical keyboard here, and hopefully you didn't hear too much of that through this microphone. Honestly, I think it's a pretty good microphone. A very good starting off point. I think if you're looking for a podcast or live streaming microphone, of course, There's endless possibilities above this, but I think this is a great starting off point. It'll get you in the game, and it's got a lot of features on it. It's got the volume rockers right on top. It's got the mute button. It's got the XLR input. It's got the headphone jack, so you can listen to everything that you're saying as you're saying it, which is very nice. And yeah, I just think it's a great value, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody who's thinking about starting a podcast or wants to just get into the recording space. This again is the FDUCE SL40, and I hope you found this review helpful, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.